Now, time for The One Show with Alex Jones and tonight's guest presenter.
Hey, Richard, that shortcut through London Zoo worked brilliantly, didn't it?
Hello and welcome to The One Show with Alex Jones.
And we've let him out of his cage once again. Richard Osman is back.
Lovely to see you. Lovely to be here. Now, tonight's guest is also a mighty prowling beast who knows his way around a banana, terrorising inadequate restaurateurs and hotel owners the world over.
But that's nothing, is it, compared to how scary he is first thing in the morning when he's waking up his children?
Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up.
Please welcome Gordon Ramsay,
I'm sorry. I know. That's so bad.
I mean, you look like a very pregnant Minnie Mouse.
I don't like them wasting time in bed so long in the morning. Tilly's the worst. She doesn't get up until she smells bacon.
That is genuinely terrifying, though.
Yeah, but you know,
poor Tilly.
Yeah, poor Tilly. Here's the thing. You know, I like being up early in the morning. I like when they're up as well. And so when I'm up, they have to be up.
You must be a super annoying dad.
Super competitive. They love it because they're a little bit grumpy for the first 3 or 4 minutes, and then they say, "Oh, thanks so much for getting up so early. Come on, then we're going for a swim, or let's go for a run."
I'm going to be honest, you sound like a nightmare.
So,
yeah. Is it a different costume every morning?
It depends. Tilly's got a drum set at the end of her bed. So,
oh, no, you don't.
Oh, I do. I slide it to the side of her. I do. The snare drum in the morning is brilliant.
No.
And then the hi-hat, I just sit there with my leg. Come on, Tilly, time for the drum lesson. Let's go.
But you are known as an embarrassing dad. I mean, the world over by now, Gordon. And we did hear on good authority that you were kicked out of a teacher's evening for asking for a selfie with a headmistress.
But just sort of asked politely to leave. Is that kicked out in today's world?
Yeah, sort of.
I think it is.
Yeah, you wouldn't kick someone out by asking them politely to leave, but other people do.
Good.
I don't know if you've been to any of these parents' evenings, but they get a little bit, not long-winded, but they're so stiff. So you've got to break the ice. So I asked the headmistress for a selfie. She said, oh, I haven't had one of those before. Mrs. SJ, bless her, I love her.
Yeah.
I just wish you'd let me back in the school now. I've agreed to go and be the chef of the school for dinner for the next term.
Have you? Yeah. Well, they've lucked out there.
So, fingers crossed.
There's a show. Now, if there was a pointless question to name a famous date in British history, then you wouldn't do very well if you went for 1066.
Oh, nil points.
No, not nil point either.
Oh, no, 100
yeah,
points.
100 points,
yes,
yeah.
Yes.
God, no wonder you did badly when you came on.
I know. And as everyone knows, it was the last time the English were conquered by an invading force. But tonight, Dan may be about to rewrite history.
Am I linking? Yes, I'm on the famous battlefield. I'm here with over 1,000 reenactors. Later on, I'll be talking to Duke William of Normandy and King Harold. But tonight isn't just about the Battle of Hastings. It's about the Battle of Tastings, all centred around one of Gordon's recipes. And this is a battle, friends, that the English could just win. More of that later on. But first, here's my take on one of the most epic stories in British history. "950 years ago, 3 warlords fought for the throne of England. It culminated in a brutal battle near Hastings. It's one of the most significant dates in British history. The west coast is the hard coast, so I think as long as we get that sorted. Using 150 metres of rope and some chilly volunteers, I'm going to show you how the events of 1066 came about. Come on, you lot, come in and help. Gather in. Who fancies being some Vikings? Yes, Saxons. Yeah, good. You're right. Hello there. Coats off, please. Let's get into our armies. Very good. At the start of the year, this guy, Edward the Confessor, is king. But unfortunately for him, he dies on January the 5th, leaving no children and no obvious heir. Up stepped the powerful and popular nobleman, Harold Godwinson. But over here in France, Harold was not a popular choice with this guy here, Duke William of Normandy. William had been distantly related to the old King Edward the Confessor, and he claimed that Edward had promised him the throne on his death. He was furious, and he started plotting his revenge. And he wasn't the only disgruntled warlord out there. Up here in distant Norway, look at the English getting a bit nervous now, there was another man, King Harald Hardrada. This mighty warrior believed that he should be the King of England. Hardrada assembled an army of around 11,000 Vikings. And in early September 1066, he led his men across the North Sea in a bold attempt to stake his claim. And they landed here in the East Riding of Yorkshire. As soon as King Harold heard about this invasion, he gathered his men together and set off to the north. They managed to cover 185 miles in just 5 days, moving so fast that by the time they arrived in Yorkshire, they took the Vikings by surprise. Both sides formed shield walls. And then the English closed in for the kill. Very good, very good. Hardrada was killed, and the few remaining survivors slunk off back to Norway. But now came some bad luck. William of Normandy chose that moment to invade. Even though Harold and his men were exhausted from their battle up here in Yorkshire, he had no choice. He had to lead them all the way back down to the south and fight. Right, shield wall, here we go, everyone. Harold's troops arrived at Senlac Hill, 6 miles outside of Hastings, on October the 13th, 1066. Then, just after dawn, on October the 14th, the battle began. A rumour went through the French ranks that William was dead. Many started to retreat. Excited, some of the English chased them down the hill. Out of the shield wall, they were isolated and cut down. But William was not dead. In the charges that followed and the volleys of arrows, King Harold was killed, apparently struck by an arrow in the eye. William and the Normans had won. William became William the Conqueror. He was crowned on Christmas Day 1066, and with him came French laws, customs, language, even food. And the Norman invasion of 1066 still shapes the way we live today.
Oh, what a view. Hastings looking gorgeous, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure all of that was historically accurate. Some of the crowns, I think, were reproductions.
And William wasn't a woman last time I looked.
Yeah, and some of the T-shirts were not historically
But,
accurate. But other than that, we learned a lot.
We will be back later with Dan, who, as he said, he'll be showing us the Saxons go head-to-head with the Normans. And it's all because they had taken a little recipe out of this.
How nice.
Your cookbook, yeah. So, Bread Street Kitchen, which is your newest cookbook, it's all about restaurant food. Now, we were a bit confused, weren't we?
A little bit, yeah.
Now,
I was confused, you were
what's
confused.
the difference between restaurant food and kitchen food at home?
You know what? Not a lot, really. It's all about the ingredients. I think Bread Street Kitchen book was almost sort of a bit like the River Cafe in the early days, the 90s, making the same sort of dishes, restaurant style, at home, in a casual manner, without having to think you've got 20 chefs behind you.
What would be the difference between, say, a gravy and a jus? So, to me, that's the difference between home food and restaurant food.
So you're getting all French on me now, jus. Oui. Jus is another name for gravy. The same thing, really. And Mum always says, look, stop all these fancy names, just call it a gravy. So I say pomme puree, she said, call it smashed potatoes.
Oh, I love your accent, Gordon.
Croque monsieur.
Do it again.
Croque monsieur.
Croque monsieur.
Croque monsieur.
No, the
cheese
other
on toast. Pomme puree.
Oh, that's nice.
So it's fascinating writing the book because I was getting all the ingredients from Bread Street Kitchen, taking them home and actually cooking with the kids and saying, look, this is manageable without getting overstressed about the decor.
I mean, it's a beautiful book. It is lovely. We were looking through.
I really like the colour.
Yes.
I mean, I know that is not essential.
That's the key, right? That's what your career's been working towards.
It's going to look lovely in the kitchen.
Is that all you've got to say about the colour?
It's like a duck egg yolk.
No, but
the one thing that caught our eye, there's a thing about making your bacon flatter.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're saying bacon, presumably, you're thinking maybe bacon is not flat enough?
Depends which pig you buy it from.
So I think so tell us why
sometimes you're going to have bacon in salads, maybe on a Caesar salad or frisee salad with a poached egg in there. So the nice idea is to put a little tray on top of the bacon halfway through the cooking process. So it makes it look so much better.
I think we've had some of the
our team had a little go at this.
Oh.
And these, well, this is the result on the table.
Let me just tell you, we have a nightmare on the One Show. I'd like to have a word with those team, because the tray needs to be a little... Oh, that's not too bad.
OK,
that's not too bad, but you don't want to see any fat there. You want to render that fat down. So crank the oven up, literally 3 or 4 minutes before it comes out the oven, get it nice and crispy.
The poor people who've done that, they didn't expect a critique, I don't think.
I'm sorry.
Flat bacon.
Oh, is that it finished?
That is finished.
Yes.
How about
I think you've got to have a lot of time in your hands
Okay.
to be able to make flat bacon, though, haven't you?
There we go.
Presentation
that is flat.
I just want to get rid of the sort of white fat so it looks a little bit more, manageable.
Okay.
Now, I see you all the time these days. We see you on American television a lot, and you're always having a go at restaurateurs, and it's genuinely addictive. But we haven't seen as much of you on British TV.
No.
Is there any chance you might see you on a newly long-running Channel 4 show they've just taken from the BBC? I don't know. I wouldn't make any suggestions myself.
Am I the male Mary Berry? Do you know what? We're talking to the BBC. We're talking to.
Talking to
Channel
the
4.
BBC?
Yes.
Oh, go on.
I do.
Tell us more.
Are you making Gordon Ramsay Britain's flattest bacon?
No, do you know what? I'm gutted that it's going. You know, let's put it that way.
aren't we all?
Seriously, mortified. I think Channel 4 do a great job. But it needs the team. It needs Mary. It needs sort of the queen of bacon there. So
would you team up with Mary? Maybe
imagine
on the
Mary
BBC.
and I in a tent judging Victoria Sponges.
I can imagine you.
I can imagine
you
it.
and Mary in a tent. Yeah, that is definitely a format.
So I'm enjoying this season. This is the last season, right?
Yeah, it is.
Now.
Yeah.
And then Channel 4 next year.
But you're chatting to the BBC about something.
About something
Trying
to
to
do
get me
with
into so much
Mary.
trouble.
No, just any.
About something to do with Mary.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Isn't it?
There's something about Mary.
It is, though.
Next item.
It is.
How about show me some food, Alex? Come on. Let's talk about brunch and some spiced carrots.
Oh, lovely. That's what carrots
it is
need.
a lovely, lovely book.
It is
And
a
the
brilliant
book, Bread Street Kitchen, is
Thank
out
you.
on Thursday. Now, Gordon, we were
Yes.
wondering, what is your ultimate song to cook along to? You know, when you're at home in the kitchen?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. Depends who you're with. Family-wise, so Coldplay.
Nice.
Really cool. Yeah, beautiful. A little bit of Robbie Williams, especially the weekends.
Robbie Williams? Not
yeah,
Angels, though.
No, not when I'm looking at Tilly cooking. Definitely not. She's not an angel. She's a bit of a devil. Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Nice.
Really cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Very
very
foodie.
apt.
Very foodie.
Well, here's Carrie with the story behind another band who you might want to put on your playlist.
I Predict a Riot is the instantly recognisable signature tune of Leeds band Kaiser Chiefs.
It may not be their biggest hit, but for them it best sums up their successful relaunch, having previously tried to crack the pop charts and failed.
They started life as a rather obscure indie band called Parva.
We were very excited. Quit my job, you know, went on tour, took a year to make a record, all the things that you shouldn't do, right? But it was great, and then the record company had their funding pulled, and so it just disappeared overnight while we were on tour.
Instead of giving up, the band decided to start again from scratch.
Me and Ricky had this big, bold set where the plan was to not play any of the old songs, to dress completely differently, to change the name, do it all as though we've just met.
So reinvented and renamed as Kaiser Chiefs, the band took on part-time jobs to fund a strict rehearsal schedule. I Predict a Riot emerged from the nightlife culture they worked in.
Nick was DJing quite a lot, and I was working in bars pretty much every night.
We would drive home and people were in the street fighting and police blocking the road, and so those images were just in my head.
It was a world we were inhabiting, and it was something that we saw every night, and something that wasn't touched upon in many songs. So it became the basis of an idea.
We started putting it together, and one of my biggest memories of it is like just playing it, the verse, everything apart from the chorus. Just play it round and round and round, and just being like, God, when are we ever going to be not playing this song? I mean, I remember saying to Nick, it's a good song and everything, but we just need to write a chorus.
Fittingly, the chorus was inspired by a club night that Ricky and Nick ran here at the Hi-Fi venue in Leeds.
We were watching this band called Blackwire, who we'd put on, and they were getting more and more excited.
There were bodies on top of bodies, and people would just be jumping off bars and crowd surfing.
And the band were taking their clothes off. And I said to the owner of the club, I predict a riot. And I thought, oh, that's good, I'll keep that.
The very next day we had the chorus, which was amazing, really.
With a growing following, within a year, Kaiser Chiefs were being lined up for a new record deal. They were put in a studio with renowned producer Stephen Street to work on I Predict a Riot.
The first thing that really struck me about the song itself was how British the lyrics were. I mean, the first verse contains the word Larry, which is not a word you hear very often, and the line, I tell thee. And I was really kind of taken by the interesting use of the instruments in the track itself.
Whitey invented this guitar sound that was the Kaiser Chiefs sound, so then every song had that sound, because Kaiser Chiefs had to be a thing.
But I wanted to get a little bit more clarity on what the vocal was doing, because for me on the demo everything was so multi-tracked and multi-layered that it was a bit hard to get the character of the lead singer, as it were. But we still wanted to keep that kind of multi-layered Beach Boys feel. So the question really was balancing Nick's backing vocals against Ricky's vocal to get the right balance. You could just tell something special was happening.
I Predict a Riot was first released in 2004, but following a hugely successful tour, it was re-released the following year and became a top 10 hit.
The social intent in the lyrics and the observation of the story of a night out in Leeds translated outside of Leeds very quickly and very easily.
It's my favourite song that I've ever been involved in. It just changed our lives.
I'm with the band back at the Old Chapel rehearsal rooms where it all started for a very special one-show performance. Drummer VJ Mystery joined the band 4 years ago when Nick left to set up his own studio.
It does capture a moment in time for us, and there was a lot of kind of energy in the band when we wrote it. I'm just really proud of it.
Where it is in the set, you can sense the sort of anticipation, and you can sense the excitement of the crowd.
You go to Brazil or you go to Australia and you play the first note of the song and everyone knows what's coming, which is really amazing.
Ricky is unrecognisable.
It looks different,
from his
doesn't
early
he?
pictures.
Yeah, it's almost like he's got money or something, doesn't it? He's gone to a hairdresser, something like that. The Kaiser Chiefs got a new album, Stay Together, which is out now.
And very
it's
good
very
it is
good.
too.
It is very good.
Time now to go back to Dan Snow, who's in Hastings ahead of tomorrow's almighty riot.
Back reference. Yeah.
So Dan, what's happened so far today then?
Well, today has been very atmospheric here on the battlefield, particularly because these gentlemen have arrived. The opposing commanders, we've got King Harold of England. And then we've got Duke William of Normandy and his brother Odo of Bayeux. Everyone's pretty fired up. Now, let's start with King Harold. You get to play Harold. Bit of a problem with playing Harold is you don't last the whole battle, do you? You've got to die.
No, I get shot with one of these 2/3 of the way into the battle and then lie dead for the rest of the battle.
Are you ever tempted not to die and win and hold on to your crown?
Yes, every time, but professionalism overrules.
And you guys are very professional because some of you guys have gone extraordinary lengths of authenticity. You've marched all the way from York like they would have done 950 years ago.
Some members of the English Army today have marched down from York, some on horseback, some walking, all the way down the country.
Incredible. Now, speaking of authenticity, we've got Duke William here, who, like Duke William for real, doesn't really speak very good English, so we've got his brother helping out here, Odo. How did you guys arrive on the battlefield? Did you come on the ferry or...?
By the sea, yes.
Oh, by the sea. Well, that's pretty good. OK, that's not too bad. Now, Hastings is a big deal for in Britain. Is it famous in France?
Yes, it's well known in France, mostly in Normandy, but the Duke is very famous.
Oh, you're famous?
Yes, of course.
Of course. Hey, of course he's famous, right. And what's going on? We've seen the Normans all day having their characteristic haircut. They've been in town getting their haircut. Why do you guys shave the back of your heads?
Yes, the haircut was made for the comfort with the helmet and the males, also to be cleaner, and it's a fashion.
The fashion, yeah. But you haven't gone short hair.
No.
No, I think you go style over comfort, I get the feeling. Right, thank you very much, James. Now let's go and have a look at the weapons here. Here we go. You take that, Mike.
Oh, thank you very much.
OK, there we go. So this is a helmet, obviously, head protection.
Spanking helmet used by both sides. You're going to need that. Most of the blows of the battle to the head and the shoulders.
And would this stop a sword? Would this stop me getting chopped in half with a sword, would it?
Hopefully.
OK, good. Shield, right, OK, yeah, nice.
So you need that nice big wall between you and your enemy. It's the main event.
OK.
I've got some chaps here too.
Oh, right, OK. Right, go easy on me, boys. OK, here we go. Right, so let's get the shield walls clashing. Right, there we go. One of those. All right, brilliant. OK, well, moving on to slightly more civilised things, the Battle of Tastings. We gave the English Gordon Ramsay's recipe for ragu, venison ragu earlier, and they cooked it up in camp. Oh, now let's see how it went. Oh, I'm joined over here. Whew. Joined over here now by the kings and the commanders. Let's taste it. OK, gentlemen, this is the English ragu. Let's think that. Thanks to Gordon's recipe. Very good. That is delicious. You take that, Duke William. Let's have a look. OK, we'll like that. Now let's go for the more traditional Norman spit roast venison, OK? I've got to say, the winner, I think, is the English. That's an Back to you guys.
What did you make of that, Gordon?
I'm blessed. Absolutely blessed. Slightly dodgy haircuts there, weren't they?
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure about that. All the shade and the bit back.
There were some spoiler alerts in there as well, weren't there? I think. I once did that walk from York to Hastings, but that was just because of Southern Rail.
Well,
did you get your money back?
Oh, no, goodness, no.
They just agreed if it's late more than 50 minutes, they're going to give you your money back.
Do they?
This is why I need you with me at all times.
Said it on telly now, see, that'll be it.
I heard it this morning.
Well, the competition between the Saxons and the Normans will reach its climax tomorrow.
I put a sizable bet on the Saxons. Sooner or later, they're going to win this. But talking of competitions, Michael Douglas is a very, very competitive dad, and he has a point to prove to his two sons.
Ah, the joys of being a dad. Healthy outdoor activities with my boys, Sonny and Joel. And a little bit of friendly competition.
The last time we played the driving game, I beat you both.
You deliberately made me photocopy one of my maths papers just so we could do a competition.
Yeah, but I did beat you.
I completely destroyed you.
Yeah, like you do at golf and like you do at skiing.
Like I do at golf.
Do anything. You beat me about once, and even then I probably let you win.
Do you want to both go and climb a proper tree?
I'm up for that, Joel. I'm all for it.
The father-son rivalry is about to get a bit more hardcore. I myself was an avid climber in my youth, and now Sonny and Joel also like to scale trees whenever they get the chance. This one, however, is massive, so some modern climbing techniques and a bit of health and safety instruction is probably not a bad idea. And as we get ready to kick off, it's over to Match of the Day commentator Jonathan Pierce.
Thank you very much, Michael. A few stats for you. Michael's sons' combined ages add up to 22. That's nearly half of their dad's 43 years on this earth. The object is simple. First up the tree to ring the bell wins. And they're on the starting line. Oh, you can hear a leaf drop around here. It's that tense.
3, 2, 1.
And they're off. Joel gets a flying start, with Sonny a half a step behind. But Dad has yet to get a foot in.
Be more careful, just slow down a bit. It's the first time you've done this.
Oh, referee, that shouldn't be allowed. That's a professional foul, if you ask me.
Crikey.
And the strain's already beginning to show. Joel's knot is tangled, but Sonny's taken pole position. Dad is foiled by the foliage, and Sonny increases his lead. Oh, but what's that? Sonny's trying to kick his dad. Wasted energy, I'm afraid, Sonny. The old man takes the lead.
How are you winning?
Because I is the daddy. Understand? That is how it works. Hang on a sec, I'm stuck.
Dad pushed by his own petard. But only momentarily, it would seem, because with sheer brute strength, look at that, he looks like a man aiming to conquer this tree, with little regard for the children he leaves behind.
I cannot let my kids beat me.
Oh, but what's this? Sonny is slipping through the puzzle of branches. He's not only hot on his father's heels, He's threatening to step all over them. He's threatening to trample on his dreams too if he reaches that bell first. 2 more steps. Dad's got a minuscule lead. Sonny's stretching for the bell. Oh, it's Dad who gets there first.
So close.
And once again, I've proven that age is but a number and experience wins the day. What do you say to that, kids? You got any champagne for this?
You think you'd have just let them win, wouldn't you?
I wouldn't have thought so. Something tells me Gordon might be quite a competitive dad as well. There's something about him, don't you think?
That's healthy, though, be competitive, because hopefully it'll take your lead down.
Who are you most competitive with from your kids?
Jack, Tills. It was Jack's fault that I ruptured my Achilles sprinting the back garden. Cooking-wise, Tilly poses a threat sometimes. I always help her out. These need to sort of move on a little bit, but they're getting there, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Well, we've invited Tilly for this last segment so that you can have a chance to be crowned the ultimate competitive dad. We have a food quiz for you both because we know, as Dad said, you are a brilliant chef. So I will hand over the reins to my pointless friend, Richard.
OK, very best of luck. Gordon, very, very best of luck, Tilly.
Right.
Go,
3
Tilly.
questions. You're going to write down your answers to this first one. OK, here's your first question. Now, in your book, Gordon, which fruit do you say you should marinate squid in to make it more tender? What would you go with for that? I wouldn't marinate it in anything.
I'd go lime.
Would you?
I mean, squid and lime's quite a nice combo, isn't it?
Have you both written down an answer?
Yes.
Nearly.
There we go.
OK.
So, Gordon, your answer?
My answer is... Oh, it's upside down.
Kiwi.
Kiwi.
Tilly?
Banana.
Banana. The answer was kiwi fruit.
Yes!
Kiwi
You don't use banana.
You wrote that book. Don't lose heart. Don't lose
1-0 to Dad.
I was going to say you might as well do a fist pump, and then you did do a fist pump. Here's your second question. The world's most expensive type of coffee comes from beans that have previously been eaten by which animal?
Oh, I know this one. I know this one.
No, I know this.
What would you go there?
I'd go anteater. No?
Well,
Pointless?
let's find out if that's the right answer. Gordon?
Go on, Tilly.
The correct word is civet, but it's a cat.
And civet.
Tilly.
Okay, final question. Final question.
Yes.
Listen very carefully.
Please.
The classic mocktail Shirley Temple is often made with ginger ale, grenadine syrup, lime juice, and served with a maraschino cherry. So what we want to know is, what is Beyoncé's most recent album called?
I know it. Don't show it.
Lemonade is the right answer. Now, that was 2-all. That was 2-all. Alex, who would you give that to? I think I'll give it to Tilly. I think we have a little prize as well.
Oh, we have. We've got some flat bacon now. We've got... Oh, well, it says the ultimate dad. But we'll give it to Tilly.
Thank you very well. Thank you, Tilly.
No. Thank you both for coming in.
Nice to see you both.
The book, Bread Street Kitchen, is out on Thursday. And thanks a lot to Richard.
An absolute pleasure, as always.
Have you had a nice time?
I've had a lovely time. Have you had a nice time?
Yeah, we tried to book Gordon for a Friday, but he hasn't said yes yet.
Gordon.
Child Genius is back for a special stand-up to cancer on Sunday.
This Sunday
as well.
is brilliant. It's very, very funny.
And next week we're joined by some great guests: Phil Collins, Donny Osmond, Little Mix, and Miranda Hart. Have a great weekend, everybody, and thank you all. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.